I'm Anadea Judith, author of Wheels of Life and a number of best-selling books on the chakras. I've been a spiritual teacher and a therapist for over 40 years, and I've traveled the world seeing people and their problems. One thing I notice is people get lost in the spiritual smorgasbord. They're dedicated to their growth, but there's so many paths and so many ways, and they do this and they do that, and they don't know quite how to put it all together. They don't have a systematic map for their personal growth. So if you've been on the path for some time, you've been trying to figure yourself out, trying to figure out the world, how it all goes together, trying to follow a spiritual practice, wouldn't it be nice if somebody gave you a map? Now, a map doesn't tell you where you have to go any more than a paper map says you have to go to this city or that. But it says if you want to go somewhere, you can look at the map to find the most direct route. So the chakra system is a map for the evolutionary journey. It maps onto your own life. It maps onto parts of your body, your history, stages of human history, and states of consciousness. This map doesn't tell you where to go. It tells you where you can go, but even more important, how to get there. It gives you lots of tools and techniques to apply to help your journey move more smoothly. And it comes with a complete set of tools to address what's in the way and help you get where you're going. If you learn this map, you can apply it for the rest of your life. You'll see yourself differently. You'll see others differently. You'll see the world differently. And with these tools, your energy and your journey is going to run a lot smoother, even in tough situations. Apply these exercises to change your beliefs, your thoughts, your behaviors, and your life. So why do I teach this? What's my story? Well, about 45 years ago, I left civilization, sold everything I had, and moved to a remote mountaintop where I lived off the grid by myself for a couple months in a tent. I walked on the earth, I collected rain in barrels, I sat by my fire every night, I looked out over the clouds, and it was then that the elements, earth, water, fire, air, and later the chakras, sound, light, and thought, that these elements came to me as part of a system of something that we need to keep sacred. I saw that humanity was going to be headed into a difficult period, a time when we would need a vision, we would need a map, we would need a way through that brings us back to the essentials, brings us back to what's sacred, that gives us a way to heal our wounds that in turn cause wounds to each other. And that map is the chakra system. It's been my life's work ever since. And it's a way of connecting heaven and earth, mind and body, spirit and matter, back into an indivisible whole so that we can create heaven on earth, which is what I think humans are here to do. This Chakra Healing Quest is a 35-day journey into the deepest core of yourself and your being. We will work with all 7 chakras, and we'll spend 3 days on each chakra, with one on the mind and our psyche and how we got programmed by childhood experiences, one on the body with yoga and bioenergetic exercises to condition your body, and one on spirit, how we can address the larger universal experience and address what's happening in the world. And finally, it gives you a chance to join a tribe of rainbow warriors, a group of people going through this quest with you that can support you, inspire you, and encourage you. So what happens when you take this quest? You'll get illuminating aha moments that help you put yourself together more. You'll learn valuable exercises, some that you can do in just a few seconds any time of day, some that are a deeper practice. And as you do these exercises, you recondition your nervous system, you train your muscles to open, you realign your posture. You'll have breakthroughs, you'll find yourself becoming more confident, more open and loving, more spiritually connected, and most of all, more integrated. All of this is learning something that will bring you powerful, dynamic, permanent change. You don't have to make up your mind right now. Mind Valley has an award-winning customer support service. So you're not even required to say yes. You can just say maybe. But I'm confident you're going to love this program. I look forward to taking this quest with you and going on a journey. So we begin at the beginning with the sacred ground, the ground you walk upon, the foundation. The name of this chakra, Muladhara, means root support or foundation support. If you're going to build a bridge all the way to heaven, its foundation needs to be really firm, anchored in the earth. That is the element of this chakra. So it's here that we go down into our roots, the roots of where we came from, the roots of our past, the roots of our beginnings. When we're born, the first challenge we have to face is to survive on our own. If you don't do that, the game is over. So first challenge to survive, and we are hardwired with instincts to survive. Now, when you're born as a little helpless bundle of protoplasm, you can't do much at all to ensure your own survival. That's dependent upon caretakers who feed you, who keep you warm, who change your diapers, who keep you safe. And if that stage went well, you have a sense of trust that the world will provide what you need, that you're safe, and that you can relax and go on the journey. When you're born, you get delivered into your body. That's the vehicle in which you take the journey, and you only get one per lifetime. So it's really good to keep that vehicle in good repair. I always say that if you don't get one, you're a nobody. If you want to be somebody, you got to have some body. So one of our tasks is not just to survive, but to become embodied, to let the spirit come fully into the flesh, to be here, to be present, to look around and say, where am I? What is this lifetime going to bring? That's our first imprint of life. So the purpose of this root chakra is to get grounded, to find stability, solidity, to learn containment so you can contain energy and allow it to build up, and the ability to have things, to have security, to have trust, to have prosperity. In order to have something, you have to have a place to put it. Your body as the vehicle is where the whole journey takes place. It's the only thing you know you're going to have as long as you live. So the chakras have developmental stages in which the primary program of that chakra gets written into your mind-body interface or your nervous system. And the developmental stage of this chakra is largely the first year of life. What are you doing in that year? You're building your body. The body weight triples during the first year of life. You're learning how it works. How do these fingers work? How do these toes work? How do I hold my head up? How do I keep food down and digest it? How do I deal with gravity and that furniture has edges and that I can't go anywhere on my own? These are the kind of things that consciousness, the indwelling consciousness of the body, is trying to figure out. It's like getting a brand new car and going, okay, where's the brakes? Where's the pedals? Where's the buttons? That's what we're trying to figure out in our body. And all of this time, we're getting messages. Are we safe? So one of the first things that we establish in life is trust versus mistrust. Am I safe or am I not safe? Can I trust to take in from my environment in which I can nourish and grow? Or do I have to be careful? Do I have to check everything out? Now, when a child is this young, they don't have any language. They don't have any preconceived notions. They just have raw experience. And if you can't trust, then what happens is everything contracts into the core. And in that makes a very constricted core that doesn't have a lot of room for energy. What that does is it pushes all the energy up into the head, away from the ground, and out of the first chakra. So you might be very smart, you might always want to figure things out, but your nervous system doesn't feel safe to drop down, to rest, to expand, and to open up and really fully have. So we know that in this developmental stage we need to be safe. But what causes blockages? Well, if this stage doesn't go well, if you don't feel safe, if your caretakers are busy taking care of other children and you don't get fed when you're hungry, if there's violence in your surroundings, if it's noisy, if it's moving around a lot, your nervous system doesn't get to let down. Well, which direction is the ground? It's down there. We say, relax, let down. We say, uptight. So if we want to relax, we have to move down toward the earth. If you didn't bond well with your mother, if there were feeding difficulties, like a colicky baby has trouble digesting and assimilating that nourishment, then that can compromise the first chakra. Another aspect is that if the child doesn't really feel like they belong here, or they don't feel quite wanted, and maybe your mother wasn't sure she wanted to have a baby and she decided to and get behind it, but something in her nervous system was uncomfortable with it, you would have picked that up in the womb. You would have picked that up as you were born. And it might have given you a feeling of being unwanted. And you might really have been wanted, but you got that feeling. Then we have to justify our existence. We have to prove that we're worthy. And we don't get to be in our natural, organic state of just being and know that it's safe and easy to survive. So when this stage doesn't go well, one of the natural results is fear. Fear is what you feel when your survival is threatened. It's a natural feeling that actually should come up if somebody jumps out of a dark alley and points a gun at you. It's natural to feel fear. Your body floods with energy in order to run away or fight off your attacker. But as a child, if you get that sense of fear because things don't quite feel right or they don't feel safe, that becomes a contraction in your body at the core level. And remember, you're building your body at this stage. So you build that into the structure of your body until it becomes natural. Then you find that there's tension, that you can't relax even when you want to, that your body is constricted and you maybe grow very tall but very thin, or you might compensate by putting on extra weight in order to feel safe. So the body is really a set of habits. And fear becomes a habit. Fear becomes something we feel in our nervous system. And sometimes it can even feel the same to the body as excitement, but our mind frames it as fear. So sometimes I say to people, just because you feel fear doesn't mean there's anything to be afraid of. But when people have a pervasive sense of fear in their body, they look outside to say, what's wrong? Maybe that person isn't safe. Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to lock that door. Maybe I need to double check that. And that hypervigilance, it takes a lot of energy. It's like putting roadblocks up to what you can fully have. Now, of course, we don't want to just be so trusting we let anything in. We need adult, reasonable discernment. But the habit of fear blocks you from receiving energy that you need to nourish yourself on. So chakra health and dynamics. So we've talked about how a chakra can be excessive or deficient, too much energy or too little. So if you dealt with not feeling safe or wanted, and you had survival concerns at this young age, and that's a wound into your first chakra, well, you dealt with it in some way. Now, you may have increased your energy to deal with it, creating an excessive chakra. If you did that, that looks like being overly attached to the physical plane, making a larger body than you might need, overamping the survival instincts. It could be the instinct to eat in order to live. And then that says eat too much. And that's what your instincts are telling you, and you fight with that your whole life. Or you could have gone to the deficient end of things, and the deficient end wants to withdraw. It wants to move out of the body. It says, I don't want a big body. I don't want to weigh much. I don't want to have a lot of physical sense. I want to be up in my mind. I want to be up in the fantasy world. And often people who do that are very intelligent and very creative, but they aren't very embodied. And they have a hard time getting over that sense of fear and distrust. So those are ways the chakra can become unbalanced. But when you balance the chakra, Then you have a sense of trust in the world and trust in yourself, because we can't really control the world outside of us. We have to know that we can handle what life gives us. And that survival becomes, as it should be, the base to the rest of your life, but not a constant preoccupying issue. So we know that every chakra has its challenge, something we have to solve in order to harvest the gifts. And the challenge here, as we've mentioned, is fear. Now, fear is heightened charge, heightened energy. It's what the body naturally does. It floods with energy so that you can take care of yourself. I teach people to look at their fear as a wonderful delivery system for your energy, to befriend that charge, to not say there's something wrong with me that I'm afraid, but, oh, here's my life force pouring into my first chakra and coming up through my body. That transforms the fear into an ally. To get your feet down, and we're going to learn exercises tomorrow for really grounding the body and doing something with that energy that allows us to feel safer and more secure. As we befriend our own charge as a result of fear and we transform it and say, yeah, this is life force, we also want to change our heightened fear that something bad's going to happen, to reasonable faith. We want to know that instead of focusing on something bad happening, we want to picture and imagine something good happening. And when you overcome this challenge, you feel more secure, more grounded, more stable, more confident, and more freedom to be who you really are. Well, first of all, you have to understand the roots in your psyche that are causing your behavior. Quit making yourself wrong for it and approach yourself with compassion. Maybe you can do a little research into your birth or your early childhood from your family. Maybe you can put two and two together and see what that early first year might have been like. And as you do that, notice what comes up for you. Notice if energy or charge comes up, and if so, that means there's some healing to do. You want to go back to the ground. You want to tell yourself, I'm welcome here. You want to welcome yourself into your own body. You can recreate your womb with a blanket in your bedroom. You can create the ground as sacred. You can tell yourself, I truly belong in this world. I am here. I will survive. And it's safe for me to be here and trust my body and its wisdom. Your exercise for today. So now that we've learned a little bit about this, there are questions in your workbook that can help you take your inquiry deeper. Like, what do you know about your birth experience? Did you feel safe as a child? Were you born in a hospital? Was there problems? How were you fed? Were you bottle fed or breastfed? These are some of the things that you can look at, and there's questions in your workbook. You're also looking at whether you felt safe in your body, whether your nervous system can relax. And you can use some of the affirmations listed in your workbook to start to reprogram your mind and body and your nervous system. Such as, it's safe for me to be here. I love my body and trust its wisdom. I know I can survive anything. Second, you can engage in some of these techniques for healing. Use the affirmations or recreate your womb experience. Tell yourself you're safe. And for those doing the medium or full engagement, develop a new chakra skill set. We talked about eating as being a survival instinct. Well, practice eating mindfully. Slow down. Savor every bite. Choose foods that are nourishing to you so that you are nourishing your body and keeping it healthy for this Chakra Healing Quest. And remember, you're invited to share any aha insights, questions, practices, things that worked. Share it with a tribe so you can inspire or encourage or support someone else. So sometimes this information brings things up for people. And if it does, just become the observer of your own process. Tomorrow we'll take this into the body and we'll ground it So bring your yoga mat and have a place to practice. We'll follow along a set of movements, and we'll take our practice deeper into the cells and tissues of the body, the home of the first chakra.